When it comes to side-scrolling action games on the Super Nintendo, there's no shortage of classics. Castlevania IV, ActRaiser, Demon's Crest. But one title that often flies under the radar is Super Valis IV. Released in 1992 by Telenet Japan and developed by Riot, this game is part of the long-running Valis series, which originally began on Japanese PCs in the 1980s. It's a stylish, anime-inspired action platformer that mixes fast-paced sword combat with a light fantasy story. And while it's not perfect, it's an interesting gem in the Super Nintendo library. You play as Lena, a warrior from the dream world who steps up to defend both her world and the human realm after the series' main heroine, Yuko, retires. The story follows Lena as she takes up the Valis sword and battles against evil forces led by the Dark Lord Gallius. The plot is told through simple cutscenes with character portraits and dialogue boxes. While the localization is basic, it's serviceable enough to keep the adventure moving, and the anime-style artwork gives it that early 1990s Japanese fantasy flair. The gameplay in Super Valis IV is straightforward but satisfying. It's a side-scrolling platformer where you'll jump, slash enemies with your sword, and use a range of magic attacks to clear each stage. The sword combat feels responsive, and while Lena's attack range is a bit short, the controls are solid and the movement smooth. You can also find power-ups that expand your abilities, giving you stronger attacks, ranged projectiles, or screen-clearing spells that help handle waves of enemies and tough bosses. One of the most enjoyable aspects of the game is its level variety. Each stage offers a unique setting, from fiery volcanoes and icy mountains to ruined castles and shadowy towers. The backgrounds are colorful and detailed, with that distinct early Super Nintendo look that still holds up today. The enemy designs are equally creative, featuring demons, monsters, and floating armor that look like they came straight out of a fantasy anime. The boss battles are where Super Valis IV really shines. Each boss has distinct attack patterns that force you to learn their rhythm. No simple button mashing here. Whether it's a giant armored knight or a dragon spewing projectiles across the screen, these encounters test your reflexes and timing. They're challenging but fair, and they give the game some much-needed excitement between the slower platforming segments. Musically, Super Valis IV delivers a strong performance. The soundtrack features upbeat, heroic tunes with a hint of melancholy, perfectly fitting for a fantasy action game. While not as memorable as Castlevania or Mega Man X, the compositions are solid and energetic, keeping you motivated through each stage. Sound effects are decent too, though they can be a little repetitive, especially the sword/sound. Visually, this game looks clean and sharp. While it doesn't push the SNES hardware to its limits, the sprite work and background layering are well done. The character portraits during dialogue sequences are particularly nice, giving the game a sense of personality that a lot of action titles from the time lacked. That said, Super Valis IV isn't without flaws. The level design can feel a bit linear, with few secrets or alternate paths. The pacing also stumbles at times. Some stages drag on with repetitive enemy encounters, and the lack of mid-level checkpoints can make dying frustrating. It's also noticeably easier than previous Valis games, likely due to the series' attempt to appeal to a wider audience on the SNES. Despite these issues, Super Valis IV remains a fun and stylish action platformer. It may not have the tight controls of Contra 3 or the depth of Castlevania IV, but it offers a refreshing dose of fantasy action with a strong female protagonist, something that wasn't all that common in early 1990s console gaming. For fans of anime-inspired adventures, or those looking for hidden gems in the SNES library, Super Valis IV is definitely worth checking out. It's short, it's colorful, and it carries that nostalgic energy of an era when developers were experimenting with cinematic storytelling in action games. It might not be a must-have for every collector, but if you enjoy fantasy worlds, sword-swinging gameplay, and a touch of old-school charm, Super Valis IV is an adventure worth experiencing, even if it's only once.